Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Saturday Morning Writer's Block. I'm your host, Snick, which is a name I go by just because I am super paranoid about internet interaction. So I'm sure you didn't need to know that, but I figured I would just put that out there. I had plans of what to talk to this morning, or talk about this morning. I've gotten a little bit of breakfast, a little bit of coffee, all that good stuff to get us juiced up a little for the morning. French roast is a little bitter, but it does the trick. Yeah, I was getting these ideas of getting really personal and being like, oh, medication and whatnot, but I'll probably just skip that this time. Yeah. So I came to a realization that the idea of coming up with a story on the fly is really hard. And especially if you don't have people to bounce the ideas off of. So, what I thought I would do today, is talk about something I'm kind of passionate about, which is a character you've seen a few times if you've been on the channel, Mantra. Now, a rough explanation of the character is Frankenstein's monster. I'm not sure how much I want to say right now, because there are ideas I've been having. Thought about getting into animation and maybe trying to do something with that. But, well, first things first, he's on fire, right? And you're like, how's that work? And my explanation is science. All that to say, I don't know. So, haven't figured that bit out yet. If I could quit twitching, that would be fantastic. Not my best rendition, but we'll make it work. He's got this nice, I don't know what you would call it, it's not a hood, it's not windbreakers. What are those things on the side of a shirt that are like flaps? Whatever those are. He's got like large ones on his jacket. And that's a really thick neck. But we'll work with it. What I'm gonna try to do is not have to erase during this, so as to keep all of my ideas intact. Had an idea that this guy would be wearing like a Hawaiian shirt or a button-up, because, you know, why not? That's the one thing I don't know why. I use a program called Krita, and sometimes when I'm using a stylus, it decides it's just gonna put a line, and I don't know why. But aside from that, it's a good program. Anyway, talking about the character, I've gone over this before on a previous video that I was a little embarrassed about, He's insane. Basically. Like I said, Frankenstein's monster, that I won't really dive into just yet for the sake of story plotline. But, let's see. He's got a robot arm. I'm not gonna explain why, but he does. Partly because robot arms are cool. And if there was a procedure to get one safely and have it function properly, I would probably try to do that, because I like my arms, but come on, robot arms. Just think about it. And there it goes again. Just random line, but I'm gonna keep this one. And I will add to the insane portion as he talks to his arm, as if it's telling him things. Whether it is or isn't is up for debate, but that is a thing I've been trying to figure out. I don't know why doing buttons on a shirt is so frustrating. It shouldn't be. I love button-up shirts. His other arm, he has a large, flappy glove. That's pretty bad, but gonna roll with it. Little tassel on it for flair. And of course, skulls. Because why not? Yeah, he's a little bit wider than I wanted, but he's kind of short, kind of scrawny. I have this dumb idea that he's super, like, not strong. This whole idea that he's so fast that the speed increases his strength because he hits you so fast. It's kind of a Flash thing, because I don't know. He's not super fast, but he's pretty quick. Anyway, adding to the insanity, he lives in a world where, you know, science is, it's big. Like, adaptation, forced evolution, all that good stuff. And he is a guinea pig in one of the large testing facilities of, and I've brought up this whole idea of a technological society dedicated to adaptation. And he is a cog in that machine initially. Just tested on day and night, just to basically to see what works and what doesn't. Maybe I don't deal well in coffee at this hour, because my insides are getting awfully bubbly. Anyway, and that's not really spelled out proper. I probably could have left it the way it was, but let me... If you thought that was the whole upside down. It looked like an upside down cross for a second, and I know that a lot of people are like, "Ooh, wow, it's used in anime, it's used in all this stuff." No, that was just poor penmanship. I wasn't trying to do anything stylish. Anyway, neither here nor there, except it is here and whatnot, but never mind. Moving on. The character of Mantra, he is not the brightest. He's not dumb. It's just he is irrational at times. Your typical gun-toting mercenary type. Has this whole thing. His arm actually has this ability that I was trying to flesh out, where when he touches something, he's able to create like a goo portal in the surface where he can like get items and stuff. It like a Nickelodeon slime goo. It's kind of dumb, and I think it needs to be revised a little, but just imagining he has this whole arsenal that he can, say, pull out of a dude's chest if he wanted to. Something like that just seems interesting to me. And of course he has skulls on his knees. He needs at least 3 skulls. There's a minimum here. These are a little tiny, but that's okay. We're not going for perfection on this explanation. If I could be perfect, I would probably not be doing what I'm doing right now in my real life. But that's okay. I got a ways to go if I want to actually make something of this. I think my proportions are off again, but yeah, like I said earlier, that's fine. We'll figure it out later. Or not. I'll probably just end up posting this unfiltered like I have been with the show. Except for like cutting the opening a little bit because I breathe heavily and I don't like that. This is an attempt at shoelaces. I probably have some notes on this guy somewhere. But essentially, he's a unhinged, gun-toting maniac with a odd moral compass. Ergo, the name Mantra, he always comes back to his code. I haven't really gone into like what that is yet. I've thought about, oh, he doesn't shoot someone who doesn't shoot first or something like that. But he's, you know, as far as insane people go, he's semi-centered. I say that that's probably, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. It might have been insensitive to some extent, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm not a terribly tactful person sometimes, especially in the morning. Okay. I also like the idea of him just having a regular revolver. I had the privilege to fire a little 22 about 2 months ago, and that was fun. A little 22 revolver is a fun time. No power behind it, of course. It's just like barely any recoil. So his revolver would probably be a little more impressive. I'm not sure what gauge or anything like that, but he has an initial pistol for general combat purposes. That's not a great pistol, but it's a quick sketch mock-up. It's fine. And then what he can get out of his portal is a variety of weapons that seem to... I had this idea where they would affect his mood or demeanor. Like, you would have this, oh, that's just lovely. Thank you. So, I wonder if it still thinks I'm attached, like the thing is still touching the screen, and it just decides that I drew a straight line. Anyway, I thought about him having a Gatling gun where when he starts using it, he pulls out a big cigar, lights it with his own head, and just, you know, becomes like a sergeant type. And hut and all that. And I thought about giving these guns faces too. But I haven't gone too deep on that. That looks like another character's weapon. I should try to broaden my horizon of possible weaponry styles. But, yeah, he does that. He's just sitting there, starts being all drill sergeant, and I'm not sure how he smokes the cigar. Because the other part that I haven't figured out, he's got this whole, like, singular connected tooth thing going on. Because I haven't bothered to try to change any of that. I've just imagined not even bothering to explain it and just have him still be able to talk without, like he moves his lips, but his teeth don't part. Stuff like that. And maybe he can just, like, put the cigar in the side of his lip and just hold it there and somehow still get, I don't know. It's... It's a weird thing. A while ago, too, I went through this whole phase of trying to figure out coloring. There we go. The colors I decided to go with on this guy are... I need a different brush. What about this one? Like green fire. I think I explained at some point my attraction to the series Twisted Metal and the mascot Sweet Tooth. And also Ghost Rider, and anyone that has a fiery head is just really rad. And of course you can explain it by curses or evil spirits or whatever, and I'm like, how can you make that scientifically explainable? So as far as the fire goes, I was going through this idea where he's constantly combusting, yet his body still functions? I don't know. It's ideas that just have not fleshed out yet. speaking of things that haven't fleshed out, I can't decide if I want his jacket to be blue or red. Part of me is like, either way, I'm doing the Devil May Cry thing a little bit via Nero or Dante. But I guess they don't exactly have the market on colored jackets. Plus, this is more like a sweater. I'm thinking like a urban hoodie type style. So, trying to think what all I've talked about in this 20 minutes. If I could, I would like to make this last a little longer, but I'm starting to reach the point where the stuff I'm comfortable sharing at the moment of this character is about at its limit. I guess I would go as far as to say he's not invincible, and he does have a last resort thing where he kind of explodes. And he can only do that like once a day or something. I don't know. It's come to my attention that this episode has just been, hey guys, look at my original character. Isn't it so great? But what are you gonna do? I've had ideas that eventually some of my stuff will get picked up somewhere along the road. I don't know how, I don't know why. But just this idea that I'll get lucky and be taken care of the rest of my life because of what I've been trying to dream of for the past 7 or 8 years. It's a strange situation. What I've been doing has gone from hobby to necessary task in order to keep my sanity to something greater. I say greater. It's still... I've stretched out what I do. Let me put it that way. This is like crazy for me. Considering about a year ago I couldn't turn on a computer without like getting super anxious. So I'm in a good place now, I think. And now I'm just kind of rambling. I apologize. We were talking about passion projects. And aside from this guy, if you've watched previous videos, I have other characters with similar fleshed out backstories. You know, the mermaid that is a police officer for the lower shelf. Stuff like that. The idea that if you live underwater in a trench, you would be superhuman coming up to the surface. I don't know how accurate that would be. I don't know. Crazy stuff like that. Yeah. I suppose that is as good a stopping point as any. If you have enjoyed this, I'm super thrilled. Thank you for watching, if you've made it to the end of the video. And, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a grasp of what this whole thing is. And maybe just sharing my passion projects is better than just making a story on the fly. Unless I can get some people to bounce ideas off of, then it would be a little easier. I don't know. Rambling again. But, like I said, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Alright, later.